Hello, welcome to another episode of In the Trenches with Gang Green. I'm your host, Bubbs. Today is Thursday, October 10th. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day so far today. This is episode 403 of the In the Trenches with Gang Green podcast. I thank you, as always, for joining me. Another day closer to the New York Jets taking on the Buffalo Bills on Monday night at MetLife Stadium. And it was another busy day out at One Jets Drive in Florham Park as the New York Jets have a new offensive play caller. We got some more sound the first practice under Jeff Ulbrich. We've got some more comments from Aaron Rodgers. So a lot to discuss today on the podcast. As always, for those tuning in on YouTube, make sure to please like and subscribe. And as always, appreciate you all tuning in on all the different audio podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcasts. Another busy day for the New York Jets, as it has been a busy week, and it feels like, as always, never a dull moment with this team. So lots to discuss today on the pod. As always, though, before we begin, let me tell you about our podcast partners, starting with our friends over at BetUS, America's favorite online sportsbook. October is the best month in the sports calendar year, in my opinion, and I think most people would agree. You've got the NFL in full swing. You've got college football in full swing. You've got the MLB playoffs in full swing. You've got the NHL in the regular season just starting up over the last couple nights. And you've got the NBA right around the corner. It's the only month of the entire year where all four major sports are happening at once, and there's no better way to get in on the betting action across all four major sports than with America's favorite online sportsbook, BetUS. Plus, my viewers, use my link in the description of this video to get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits up to $2,000. You want to put some money down in the AFC East? Here are the odds to win the AFC East here as we enter week 6. Bills at minus 245, Jets at plus 300, Dolphins at plus 700, and the Patriots there all the way in the basement at plus 6,500. Heck, you want to throw some money on the Devontae Adams next team odds? Jets lead the way, minus 200 favorites. Chiefs, Ravens, Bills follow behind them, plus 400, plus 450, and the Bills there at plus 500. So make sure to check them out. Once again, that is my link in the description of this video. 125% sign-up bonus on your first three deposits up to $2,000. What a time to be alive as a sports fan here in October. Also, our friends over at Huga House. If you want to get your hands on one of these special edition Aaron Rodgers 20th season hats, you've seen me wear mine on the show all the time. The green one, you want the green or the black or any of the other awesome Huga House hats that they offer. Make sure to check them out. And at checkout, use promo code BUBS for 15% off any purchase and get yourself some Huga House swag. And of course, our friends over at SeatGeek. You're a Mets fan, looking to get your hands on NLCS tickets, looking to get your hands on Monday night tickets for Jets Bills. Big Yankees fans looking to get your hands on some tickets for the rest of the playoffs. There's no better place to check out tickets, buy tickets than at SeatGeek. Look for the green dots. Those are the good deals. You don't have to waste your time trying to figure out whether or not you're getting a good deal. SeatGeek tells you green means good. Look for the green. Those are the seats you want to purchase. Those are the good deals. Get out to some events. Jets fan looking to go to the game, and you want to buy tickets and you haven't used SeatGeek before, use my promo code BUBSONSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase and get yourself out to some awesome events. And not just football, not just baseball, not just sports, concerts, plays, shows, you name it. SeatGeek has it. Promo code BUBSONSPORTS, $20 off. All right, now let's get into today's episode here, episode 403. So you start the week, right? Monday goes by. Tuesday morning, we get the breaking news that Robert Saleh is fired. Surprising news, shocking news, something that I thought needed to happen. I agreed with the decision. I didn't think they would do it. I thought they would wait at least until Buffalo, give him one more chance with an extra day on primetime. But Woody Johnson didn't wait. He realizes this is an all-in year. You can't let this snowball any longer. And the New York Jets made a change. And then today, fast forward about 48 hours later, and the New York Jets made another change, not firing somebody, but they demoted Nathaniel Hackett as play caller, and in comes Todd Downing, who fills in for him. Previously here, obviously the quarterback's coach and the passing game coordinator. Todd Downing now will step up as the play caller. Here was Jeff Ulbrich on the decision and the move to change play callers here as we enter week 6 against the Buffalo Bills.
Regarding the staff, after a lot of time to think about it, and did not make this decision easily by any means, I'm going to make Todd Downing the play caller for the New York Jets going forward. And this is more a byproduct of a different take on things. I'm not saying it's a better or worse take on things by any means, but just a different take on things, a fresh approach. So ultimately, Todd will have the full say on the game plan and ultimately the plays that are called within the game.
So look, I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm just going to get this right off. And I'm going to read through some numbers here. We're going to start with this. This is going to be a good chunk of the show. And then I want to play some sound from Rodgers, and then we'll get to some injury updates from today's practice and call it a day here. But we've got to start. This is the biggest story. We got to break this down. Got some numbers and all that stuff. But I'm just going to sit here and start, right? I'm going to give you later on in the pod, I'll give you a couple reasons why you should believe. And then there's also a couple reasons why I and some other Jets fans may not believe, or I agree with the move, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Todd Downing is going to turn this offense into a top 10 offense, going to turn this team into an elite offense, going to turn the season around. But what I can tell you is it can't get any worse. And I think most Jets fans can agree with that. And that was the mindset, too, about the Robert Saleh firing. It got so bad. The team committing penalties, not ready to play, all of that nonsense. Losing to Denver at home was brutal. Going out to London and not showing up for the first half was brutal. Then trying to make a comeback, the lack of accountability, all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Jeff Ulbrich is going to win 11. He's going to end the season here 2-3 right now, finish the year as with the Jets, and they're going to be 11-6. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Jeff Ulbrich's going to go 9-3 over the next 12 weeks and get this team to 11-6. But what I do know is a change had to be made at head coach. They made it. It can't get any worse. And you have to hope and believe that Jeff Ulbrich learned from what didn't go right with Saleh and hopefully does the opposite and can get this team to buy in and get this team to play at a much higher level, where they should be when we set out at the beginning of the season thinking this is a team that can make the playoffs and potentially make a run with Aaron Rodgers in an all-in year. And that's the same way I view it with the offensive coordinator. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Todd Downing is going to turn this offense around. But what I will tell you is it's been one of the worst offenses in football. The 22 games that Nathaniel Hackett was offensive coordinator dating back to week 1 of last year, 2023. And Todd Downing steps in with 3 years of experience. It feels like it can't get any worse. And similar to Ulbrich, hopefully learning from what went wrong with Saleh and doing the opposite, you hope that Downing can understand what this team needs and hopefully understand what has plagued this team and try and do the opposite of what Nathaniel Hackett has done here as offensive coordinator, because it's been awful on so many levels. This had to be done. Whether or not it works, it had to be done. If you're not going to fire Hackett, you had to at least demote him and change the play caller. And this should have been something, too, that should have been done in the offseason. The Jets thought about this in the offseason. We all know Nathaniel Hackett stinks. They tried to do this in the offseason, hire an advisor, essentially to make Nathaniel Hackett Aaron Rodgers' coffee guy in the morning and still say he's a part of the staff. And that's kind of what they're doing now. Let's be honest. Nathaniel Hackett's going to be pretty, as much as Ulbrich's going to sit there and tell you he still has a big role, he's going to be taken out of the offensive, really offensive, like game planning and stuff like that. He's going to be pretty far zoned out because that's how bad he's been. And that's why the Jets are making the change, because they need somebody else to hopefully come in, make the necessary adjustments, and hopefully be, even if he's just a little bit better than Nathaniel Hackett, or even if he's just average, that's significantly better than where this team has been with Nathaniel Hackett. And again, in an all-in year, you need to make these changes. So I agree with this move. It's the right move. Not really surprising. And I will also say this. This also debunks now all the nonsense that Saleh was fired because he tried to demote Hackett and Rodgers called up Woody to tell him that he can't do that, because if that was the case, Ulbrich wouldn't be doing this right now. So that also debunks some of that stuff as well. But here's some numbers. Let's just look at how bad the Jets offense has been under Nathaniel Hackett, and we'll look at what Todd Downing was able to do in his 3 years as an offensive coordinator. Of course, one in with the Raiders in 2017, and the previous two coming in Tennessee in 2021 and 2022 prior to being hired on New York staff last offseason. So last year, the Jets finished 31st in total offense, 22nd in rushing offense, 30th in passing offense, 29th in scoring offense. And it hasn't gotten any better, right? We gave this coaching staff, all right, benefit of the doubt. You get Aaron Rodgers, get a Hall of Famer, add more talent, give him an offensive line, and you hope that not only Saleh, but the rest of this offensive coaching staff and the coaching staff as a whole could learn from their mistakes and with actual talent could turn this thing around and actually see positive results. That hasn't been the case here so far in 2024. They are 27th in total offense, 32nd in rushing offense, 19th in passing offense, and 25th in scoring offense. They are still in the bottom of the league in almost every category. And the most alarming of those four categories is the rushing offense being 32nd in football when you improve the offensive line and have a player of Breece Hall's caliber in the backfield. That's been the most alarming struggle of them all. It actually hasn't been the struggle at times to see Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers get on the same page. That hasn't been the biggest concern. The biggest concern, the biggest alarm that has gone off for this offense has been Breece Hall doing practically nothing the last 2 weeks and hoping here that Todd Downing can find a way to scheme something up where they can unlock him and the run game, not just Breece Hall. Braylon Allen's been good, but the run game as a whole has been non-existent. And clearly, Nathaniel Hackett, 5 games in, had no adjustments. Clearly, he had no adjustments that he even thought of or no adjustments that he was going to make because it's been the same thing we saw last year, and 5 games in, it's been awful, and we haven't seen any changes. Denver was terrible, didn't adjust in Minnesota. So there was obviously no faith. There was not going to be any adjustments to this run game, which I think is the biggest thing that needs to be unlocked. So overall, the New York Jets, the last 2 seasons, which is 22 games under Nathaniel Hackett, 22 games, a lot of it painful. They are 29th in total offense under Hackett, average, 27th rushing offense, 24th passing offense, 27th scoring offense. That is not good enough to make the playoffs. That's barely good enough to win 7 games. Definitely not good enough to even sniff a Lombardi trophy. So it's been awful under Nathaniel Hackett, especially this year where you have talent, you have a quarterback who's not playing well, but still better than what the Jets had last year at quarterback. And there's still no results. And this offense is still grinding to just get a yard, grinding to just pick up a first down. I mean, how many 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2? It's so hard for this team to pick up the first down, right? Watching this offense is grueling week in and week out. Everything is so hard. There is nothing that looks easy. And that was going to continue to be the case with Nathaniel Hackett. There was going to be no more. There's been none. There was going to be none scheming guys open. The run game was continuing to struggle. And in all-in year, you had to make the change. I will also say this, and this doesn't even pop up too with the numbers. I'll just say straight up here, something I don't want to see. Hackett did this all the time. You even go back to Gase, he did this. But please stop the stupid run, pass. Can we stop doing that? The run, pass never works. Run for a yard, run for 2 yards, boom, 3rd and 7. Check down, 3rd and 3, you're punting. You can't do it. I lost it last week when Nathaniel Hackett, who has made no adjustments since coming in as the offensive coordinator, but I lost it last week when Nathaniel Hackett, coming out of halftime, the Jets started to gain some momentum, right? They scored the late touchdown, did some good things. Defense stepped up late after kind of a slow start, started to step up. They went into half with momentum. Minnesota, right out of half, defense believed it was forced to 3 and out. They got the ball, and out of halftime, back-to-back runs. That right there, I would have said, you're done. You're done. I would have handed it over to Todd Downing right then and there. So that's something that can't happen. These stupid run pass. With the way the Jets have been running the football, they've got to find a way to pass early, get the pass game going, set up for the run. That's what you've got to hope they can do here, is connect with the passing game early, connect with Garrett Wilson, get the tight ends involved, get all this talent involved. Don't force feed Lazard, please. Enough of the Lazard drops. Try and get Wilson involved. Heck, try and get Mike Williams involved. He was a non-factor last week until the fourth quarter. Get him involved. And I will also say this from the run game. Something Hackett never tried was different types of, like, Hackett's run schemes. The Jets' run schemes under Hackett were always so vanilla. Always so vanilla. There was never any counters. Very rare. They tried some pitches early in the season, some outside runs, but not a ton of it. A lot of it's just right between the guard and the center, right between the guard and the tackle. And that's about it. There was nothing to the outside. You never really switching sides left or it was always so boring, always so simple. So I'd like to see the Jets as well, Downing here, try and just, aside from just the actual numbers, what I saw too from an eye test here with Hackett, try and fix some of those things. Now, when you look at Todd Downing, over his 3 years as a play caller, right? He's been in the league for a while, but in his 3 years as a play caller, right? Spent some time with Buffalo in 2014 as a quarterbacks coach, spent time with Oakland, and then in 2017 was the offensive coordinator, spent time with Tennessee, of course, for a while, spent time with the Titans or the Vikings, spent time with the Lions, spent time with the Rams. He's been all over the place. But as an actual offensive coordinator since entering the league in 2005, he's only been an offensive coordinator 3 years, 2017, 2021, and 2022. So let's look at his 2017 rankings. This is where the Oakland Raiders at the time, now of course Vegas, finished 2017 under Todd Downing. They were 18th in total yards, they were 18th in total offense, averaging 324.1 yards per game. They were 25th in rushing offense, 97.1 yards per game. 16th in passing offense, 226.9 yards per game. And they were 23rd in scoring offense at 18.8 points per game. So not very good. Still, shockingly, better than the Jets. That's also just tells you how low the bar is for Todd Downing to get over. Is even that year where they finished 18th in offense, 25th in rushing, 16th in passing offense, and 23rd in scoring. That is better than the Jets' average over the last 22 games of 29th in offense, 27th rushing, 24th passing, 27th scoring under Nathaniel Hackett. Now you look at his last 2 years, or the previous 2 years prior to getting hired to the Jets in Tennessee, 2021, 2022. So 2021, 17th in total offense, 342.5 yards per game. 5th rushing offense in football, 141.4 yards per game. 24th passing offense in football, 201.1 yards per game. And 15th scoring offense in football at a 24.6 points per game. So a lot better than 2017, right? They were top 15 in scoring, 17th total, top 5 rushing offense, 24th passing, not great. Bottom of the league there. But other than that, were around average. They were an average offense overall, but elite rushing offense and slightly above average from a scoring perspective at 15th in the NFL. Now let's look at 2022. Downing, 30th in total offense, 296.8. 13th rushing offense, 125.4 yards per game. 30th passing offense, 171.4. 28th scoring offense, 17.5 points per game. So 2022 was kind of ugly. 2021 was his best year. Now, something I do notice here, in his last 2 seasons in Tennessee, the run game was successful, and that was with Derrick Henry. You give Todd Downing a star running back, hopefully the way that he was able to utilize Derrick Henry and was able to have success with Derrick Henry as a play caller, you hope that he can find success with Breece Hall. And that's also something, too, that I think could be an underrated piece to Todd Downing getting hired, is potentially seeing an uptick in Braylon Allen's reps, especially in these short down and distances. One of the biggest NFL comparisons to Braylon Allen has been Derrick Henry because of his size, mainly because of his size. Like him and Derrick Henry are, in terms of size-wise, two of some of the biggest backs in football. 6'1", 240, Braylon Allen. Todd Downing knows how to utilize a big running back like that. Something Hackett, which was inexcusable, did with Braylon Allen. Not enough using him in short distances. You go back to that Denver game on the 1-yard line. Not using Braylon Allen. They ran it twice with Brees, then brought Braylon out there and tried to run. Then they ran a pass play, and they intended it for Solomon Thomas, who was in the game as an eligible receiver. That's inexcusable. So that is something that I hope Todd Downing cannot really learn from, but just has experience with using a big physical back in Derrick Henry. Hopefully can take that experience in Tennessee and understand how to use Braylon Allen much more, use him in a much better way than Nathaniel Hackett was using him. And also hopefully having a little bit of a shorter leash on Breece Hall. Because the last couple weeks, it's too much Breece Hall when it's not working. When Braylon Allen clearly here has had shown off a lot more speed, better vision, much, much better. Now you look at Downing over his 3 years, that's 50 games as an offensive coordinator, play caller. Here is his average offensive rankings. His teams have averaged out to finish 21st in total offense, 14th rushing offense, 23rd passing offense, and 22nd in scoring offense. So all three of those categories are better than Nathaniel Hackett's average over 22 games as the Jets OC. And that's the best way I could put it. Is Todd Downing going to be this offensive genius and turn this offense into the number one offense in football? No, I don't think he will. I think that's unrealistic. That's not what he's done in his 3 years as a play caller. But is he should be better than Hackett? Yeah. Because Hackett's been that bad. I mean, heck, you could throw a Jets fan that's 5-6 beers deep out there, and he could probably do a better job than Nathaniel Hackett. That's how bad he was. And this was a change that needed to be made. And Downing's not that impressive. But when you look at the numbers, statistically, his teams have had more success than Nathaniel Hackett has had in 22 games as the play caller for the New York Jets. And one of the biggest issues has been the run game. Todd Downing, as an offensive coordinator in the NFL over his 3 seasons, has helped his teams get to a 14th ranked rushing offense in football as a play caller. Top 15. The Jets right now are 32nd. That needs to be better. And I think you've got to have some faith that Downing can help that out. Some other notes on Downing. His red zone conversion rate's impressive and something that I think Jets fans should be confident in because it's something that Hackett was awful with. In 2021, the Tennessee Titans under Todd Downing were 8th best in the NFL in red zone conversion rate. In 2022, they were 6th best. We know what the Jets have been under Nathaniel Hackett in the red zone. Last year, they were awful. This year, haven't been much better. Downing has had success in the red zone as a play caller. So hopefully that's something that we also see a change in, see an adjustment in, see progress in. So there are some numbers. Now, here's just some here. I'm going to give you 4 reasons to believe, and I'm going to give you 4 reasons to maybe why you should still be skeptical. All right. Here's 4 reasons to believe. This is the most talent he's had. This is the most talent Todd Downing will have as an offensive coordinator in the NFL. This is the most talent he'll have. Look, as much as we want to, maybe the Jets, maybe we do overrate our talent. I could totally see that. I could totally understand it. This is still a team that if Aaron Rodgers starts to play up to his level, will be the best quarterback that Todd Downing has ever had as a play caller. All right. Breece Hall, as bad as he's been, this is a guy that was statistically the 2nd best running back in football last year, only behind Christian McCaffrey. There's no way this guy can be this bad. He's got to find a way to turn a corner. Garrett Wilson, as much as they struggled, back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver. Mike Williams needs to get involved more. This is a guy that one of the better 50-50 jump ball receivers in football. Talent-wise, this team, reason they fired Saleh was because most talented team, the most talented Jets team they've had in years. Somebody's got to find a way to put it together, especially on offense. So the most talent he's had. I will also say, like I said earlier, kind of repeat it. I'll be short with this. He's had success with Derrick Henry. He had success with an elite running back. He needs to find success with Breece Hall because when Breece Hall's on, he's elite. And he also needs to utilize Braylon Allen smarter than Nathaniel Hackett did. And he knows how to utilize running backs that size. He understands their physicality, what they bring to the table. He saw it firsthand in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. Hopefully he can take some of those experiences and bring them here. Another reason, too, can't get any worse. I don't believe. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. But it feels like it can't. It feels like this is rock bottom for a team with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. It really does. And also, this is similar to Ulbrich with Saleh, where Ulbrich saw Saleh the last 3 years. He sees what went wrong. Hopefully, Ulbrich learns from Saleh's mistakes and can do the opposite of those mistakes. I'd hope that could potentially be the same with Todd Downing, where he saw what went wrong with Hackett. He saw the problems on offense. He saw the play calling issues. He saw what worked, what didn't work. Hopefully he can adjust and kind of do the opposite because he sees why. He's seen now 22 games and he's seen why his duties have been stripped. Hopefully he can learn from that. Now, reason to not believe. Look, his overall body of work is still not that impressive. In his 3 years, he's averaged, he's coached on average in offense to the 21st ranked offense in football. That's still well below average. So you want to sit here and still say, yeah, his overall body of work still isn't that impressive. Yeah, it's better than Nate Hackett, but that's not saying much. I understand that. Also, it's middle of the year. How much can actually change here? How many adjustments is he really is totally going to be able to make? You can also sit here and say if the quarterback doesn't play better, and that's my next point. If the quarterback doesn't play better, it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator. If Aaron Rodgers turns the ball over 3 times again on Monday night, this team's not winning no matter if you have the best offensive mind in NFL history out there. They're not going to win the game if your quarterback throws 3 interceptions. The quarterback's got to play better. And also, I will say this. He's been on this offensive staff. This is a guy that honestly could have been fired after last year. They could have blew up the entire offensive staff. So my point, I guess, as much as he might learn from Hackett, could he be similar to Hackett? Could he be similar to the rest of the coaches on this offensive staff, which a lot are not very trustable? So that's another reason maybe to not believe. Gave you 4 reasons to believe. I gave you 4 reasons but not to believe. I gave you some numbers. This is where we are. A change needed to be made. We'll see what happens on Monday night. Also, I will say some of this. I'm just going to add some more thoughts here. Then we'll get to injury and we'll play some clips from Rodgers. This goes back to this kind of reminds me going back to the whole Rodgers car debate, right? Go back to 2023 offseason. There was a portion of the NFL media that was like, the NFL or the Jets have to go get, there was a portion of the media that was like, the Jets have to go get Aaron Rodgers. If they don't get Aaron Rodgers, then they're the same old Jets because they're always settling for plan B. And then there was also a portion that's like, they can't get Rodgers. He's a locker room cancer and bad with young guys, all this stuff. So go get Carr. Like the Jets, when the Jets got Rodgers, there was people that were saying, oh, they have to go out and get, like there was people saying, oh, they have to go out and get Rodgers. They have to bring in a Hall of Fame quarterback. It would be same old Jets to not do that. Then they bring in Rodgers and it's like, oh, he's a cancer in the locker room, all this stuff, not going to work out. He's not good with young guys. So what did you want the Jets to do? You can't sit here and say they had to go after Rodgers and when they brought him in, say all these bad things. Like the NFL media was flip-flopping. Like, what do you want them to do then? And this is the same situation. you now get people moving the goalposts again, saying you have to fire Saleh. People in the NFL media, fire Saleh right after Sunday's game. He needs to be fired. They fire Saleh, it's same old Jets. So what do you want them to do? Fire him or not fire him? 1 minute you're saying fire him. When they fire him, it's same old Jets. Same thing here with Hackett. If Hackett keeps calling plays, it's an issue. It's a problem. They demote Hackett. Oh, same old Jets. Dysfunction. Two coaching changes or 2 staff changes in a week. So what do you want them to do? You say demote Hackett, then when they demote him, you've got a problem with it. So I'll just say that there's been a whole lot of moving the goalposts among the NFL media this week. And it's funny because it always seems like it happens with the Jets. And I've always said this. I don't see this as dysfunctional like same old Jets. Same old Jets would have let Saleh ride this thing out, finish the year with 6-7 wins, then fire him in the offseason. You want to get same old Jets? Okay, they waited too long, fine. But same old Jets isn't firing in the middle of the year because guess what? It's not even same old Jets because the Jets under Woody Johnson haven't fired anybody in his 25 years middle of the year. It's not like the Jets do this every other year. Same old Jets would have been letting this entire staff ride it out the rest of the year without any changes and letting this team rot. That would have been same old Jets. So just wanted to get that off my chest as well. All right, here's some injury updates from Jeff Ulbrich, and then we'll give you some more updates on players' practice availabilities today. But here's Ulbrich on a whole list of injuries, longer clip here. So here's the injury update for the New York Jets on Thursday.
Doing. All right, start with the injury report. Start with Tyron. Tyron's got a vet day like he's taken this last couple weeks. Michael Carter, he will not practice today. Had a little hamstring that ultimately became a back. So he's going to gather some more information today, give you guys information when I figure it out. But he's eager to play and try to work through it, so we'll see. Aaron is he's going to be limited today, as he's been on most Wednesdays. This being a Wednesday, that's a Thursday. Same ankle, a little bit of the hamstring, limited in practice, but no thoughts of any time he'll miss on Monday night. Conk's he's going to be limited as well. He's got a bit of a hip. CJ's got his toe that he keeps working with. We're gonna rev up CJ a little bit today as far as the volume that he gets, in practice and see how that feels for him. Obviously, a guy that we'd love to have back, especially for Monday night. Morgan has the knee, on track to play, fired up. What an amazing guy Morgan is. He brings so much juice, energy, culture beyond just the player that he is. So fired up that he's going to be back with us. And then Lakey, he's the last one. Very hopeful that he'll get his first opportunity to play for us this Monday night. Super excited about what he brings to the table. So he's still working through that hamstring. See how the week goes.
So there's a long list of injuries there from Jeff Ulbrich today in his first practice press conference, I guess you want to say, as a New York Jets head coach, interim coach here. Obviously, a lot to kind of digest there. So at the time of this recording, practice report was revealed today, and mostly some positives. Now, Michael Carter, obviously hurt last game in pregame warmups. He did not practice today with the back. Tyron Smith, as Jeff Ulbrich said, dealing with the normal vet rest day. This is typically a Wednesday on a Sunday game week. So it's a Thursday on a Monday game week. So no concerns there. His typical vet rest day, he didn't practice. Your limited participants were Rodgers with the ankle, Conklin with the hip, Moses with the knee, Mosley with the toe. And your full participant today was Lecky Fotu with the hamstring, which is a positive. So it feels like we're heading in a direction where Morgan Moses and Lecky Fotu, who hasn't played a game yet since coming over to the Jets in the offseason, obviously signing a contract over from the Arizona Cardinals this past offseason, hasn't played a game yet, spent the first 4 weeks on the IR, opened up his practice window last week, and obviously hasn't played yet. So we'll see. Seems like he's heading in a direction to play on Monday, which is big. Fotu has been an underrated missing piece, and I think ideally he comes back and potentially helps this team against the run, which has struggled this season on defense against the run. He kind of takes over for that Al Woods role last year, where big body guy that can clog the interior. So it's certainly a piece that I think is a positive to get back. And Morgan Moses, obviously, too, big positive to get back. And as Ulbrich mentioned, big locker room guy. I think he's a guy, too, that just his on-field presence on Monday night could be huge with everything going on this week. Having a guy like that in the locker room is certainly a calming influence, I think, on what has been a crazy week. So those are the injury updates there. Seems like we're getting two big pieces back in the trenches, which is huge for Monday night. Here's two quotes I wanted to end with here with Aaron Rodgers. He talked to McAfee yesterday, pretty much completely denying all these reports about him saying, that people saying he got Saleh fired, all that stuff. And here was him today, again, talking about accountability and saying, look, I got to play better. And if I played better, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. So accountability from Rodgers here. Here's the clip from today's media session in the locker room.
The idea of manifestation involves attention and intention. And then a word that goes along with that is accountability. We need to be accountable to each other. When something like this happens, it's a reset for everybody. When you make a change on the offense, it's a mirror that's held up for all of us who played, and we all feel terrible about the opportunity that we had, that we squandered, that led to Robert getting fired and Hack getting demoted. I play better. This doesn't happen. We play better on offense. This doesn't happen. So I think it puts a spotlight on us, and now it's on us to do this. We need to be accountable to each other, and we got to raise the level of our play to the standard that we set during training camp.
I think Rodgers over the last 2 days, both on McAfee and here, has handled this situation very well. Continues to take accountability. It's the truth. He hasn't played well enough. He has not played anywhere near his Hall of Fame level. We're not even asking for him to play at an MVP level. If he can just be a top 12 quarterback, this team can potentially make a run here in the playoffs. He hasn't been that yet. Been better what they've had, but not to the standard of why the New York Jets brought in Rodgers. 3 interceptions last week was killer, including the one where he throws to Mike Williams' ankle. So look, he's taking a lot of accountability, and the whole notion that he got Saleh fired feels like it's completely false with the way he's spoken here. Also, here is Rodgers on Ulbricht's decision. There was some people wondering if he'd allowed this to happen, demoting Hackett, putting Todd Downing in at play caller. He respects his decision and everything he does. Here's Rodgers on Hackett's demotion.
What's your reaction to obviously Jeff's move to strip?
Yeah, I knew there'd be changes after they let Robert go. Had conversations with Brick over the 2 days. I knew that he was thinking about it, leaning toward it, and I told him I'd back him up whatever he decided.
So, quick clip there, Rodgers on Ulbricht's decision to move on or to change play callers and give it to Downing starting on Monday night. So that'll do it for episode 403. Appreciate you all joining me. We'll have a lot more content coming your way. Game preview up on Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And of course, anything else that comes out of Jetland, because there's never a dull moment, we'll be here talking about it all. If you haven't checked it out already, we had Mike Bunt on last night, uploaded today, this afternoon. That video is up, talking Jets Bills with him. Awesome to have him on. Always a great time. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. And until next time, stay tuned. JETS, Jets. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon.